Hey guys, so today we will be having a fight between the HTC One versus the LG Optimus G. So of course that will be very nice. So let's start off here by doing a quick little sum up here. So LG Optimus G is a nice phone here from LG, and it is coming in at the price of £300 to £400, and that's pretty good price if you look at the specs. Versus the HTC One, which is a little bit higher, £500 to £600. It's a little bit more there. So is it worth buying an LG device maybe a little bit cheaper? I think this is a very good question, because I mean, I've been taking a look at these devices and they are amazing. I mean, they are super nice, both devices. And this year it feels like most companies have put out a great device compared to last year, where most people were behind Samsung a lot. This year it's pretty fair. I mean, everyone is kind of doing the same thing and releasing the same stuff, so that's good. More competition. So £300 to £400 for the Optimus G here versus the HTC One. It's a very good question. Is it worth it? If you start to take a look at the specs here, both are 4G capable devices. The HTC One here, if we start off with the form factor wise and how they produce this device, well, it's a aluminum phone with stereo speaker on the front side, which is making it a little bit special here because it's one of the first phones ever to have the best sound. One thing though that is bad with it is that it has weird buttons, weird button layout. This one is at the top, the power on button, and they put it kind of hard to find. Also here at the side here, volume up and down keys, they are also pretty hard to control. So that's definitely something that I find annoying. I find it very annoying, and also that the design points upwards here. But they do have a nice material here, a aluminum side that makes the device feel premium. But this thing that it doesn't really feel, I don't like it. This design, that it instead of being like this design, it's more like this, and it feels a little bit wrong when you're holding the device in your hand. You can see here that it's a little bit, I don't know, feels a little bit weird over there. The button layout though could also be probably a little bit better. The multitasking here could also be a little bit better. You have to double tap to multitask. And they have made a system where you kind of have to swipe everything to remove all the apps. I would recommend that, or I would prefer use one tap to remove everything here on the HTC device. And if you also take a look here at, you get two buttons here on the front side. You don't get the home button. So if you want to start up the phone from the front side, you can't do that. But that's the same thing here with the LG Optimus G. So that could be nice and good to know about that. So aluminum, stereo speaker, awesome specs, and a great screen. That is the main parts here that is good with the HTC One. And also it's bringing out the latest Sense, which has a blink feed, which you can go here at the side, and it will bring you either your Facebook newsfeed if you want that, or some websites, so you can see the latest news from them. You can't remove blink feed though, but of course you can have more home screens, not up to 5 home screens, but you can have a few more. And of course you can change to your own custom launcher, and then you won't see blink feed. You also don't have that many options in terms of the notification area up here. You don't have any quick toggles or anything like that we have seen a lot on Samsung devices and other devices out there. So that is also not super good. If you take a look at the lock screen here, you do have quick access to some apps here. You also do have a widget here for the time, and I'm pretty sure that when you play music you will also see that. You also can see that they rearranged the app drawer here. Usually on Android you swipe pages, but here you scroll up and down, and I kind of find this kind of cool that you can quickly search for apps, and the keyboard is amazing here. nice vibration, nice graphic here. They use a Roboto font. I'm pretty sure that it was called Roboto font instead of the latest Sense, which looks very attractive here. We can also see that we are running on, if you take a look at the software here, we can see that we are running here on Android 4.1.2. So that of course is pretty nice. If you take a look here at the LG Optimus G, that has instead of aluminum material here, it has more of a glass feeling. It kind of reminds about the Nexus 4, but it's kind of like a Nexus 4 but with more memory and a little bit more of a different design, because it has a full glass design here with glass on the back, and then also a very nice rounded off edges here. So it kind of feels a little bit better to hold it in the hand for me personally, because there are straight edges and they are rounded off as they should, like this, and not the weird like this design that you do get on the HTC One. Also, it has 3 buttons on the front side. I do like it that you do have a home button here in the middle, which is very easy to reach, and then also just a menu button here instead of as Samsung usually do. Samsung usually have the menu button on the left side, they put it here on the right side, and then you have the back key. And if you want to multitask, you just tap here, hold it in, and you just clear all. And the cool thing is that you can clear all apps at the same time, which is a little bit more useful. Other than that, you have a lot of freedom here on your home screens here. You can have any apps or any apps here, whatever you want. If you take a look at the app drawer here, it looks pretty basic here. And then also if you scroll down here, we do have some more settings here than what you would get on the HTC One. We get a cool brightness slider, some Q slide apps, and then also we get a lot of quick toggles here that kind of reminds of how Samsung have made it. And you can also disable and enable stuff in here if you want to do that as well. So that is pretty useful. And also when we go down here to software information, we can see they're also rocking Android 4.1 Jelly Bean wearable. So if we continue now and also take a look at some other things. So both these devices feel very premium in the hand, and it's kind of fun when you look at the specs, because they have kind of similar specs here. Both are LCD displays, but they are a little bit different here. You get a true HD IPS plus LCD display here on the Optimus G, versus a Super LCD 3 display here on the HTC One. Now both displays looks amazing. Both are 4.7 inch, but you get a little bit higher resolution here on the HTC One, like that provides you with a 1080p display versus 720p here on the Optimus G. Will you see a difference when you're reading, when you're browsing? Most of the times you won't see a difference, so that could be something good to know. Both also comes with a lot of internal storage, because you don't have an SD card option, and that is of course good to know. So 32GB variant of the HTC One's wearable, and 32 and 64GB variants of the Optimus G is also wearable. They also have 2GB of RAM. You get an IR port here also on the HTC One, so you can control your TV with this little guy. In terms of camera here, you get a 4MP ultra pixel camera inside of the HTC One with the feature that they are calling themselves for Zoe, which can actually provide you with some cool things. Like if you take pictures during the whole day, it can make like a movie out of it. So it's a little bit cool. You can share that with friends and have like custom songs and stuff. But if you don't like features like that, if you just want a simple camera, then 400 pixels is a little bit low if you want to zoom in and stuff. And but if you're just going to share pictures on things like Facebook, you probably won't be able to see a difference. But you can see here that I don't get that many details when I zoom in a lot. It looks a little bit weird here compared to if I would take the same picture here with the Optimus G. And then also I do get some actually nice software here with no lag whatsoever, and this is something that I actually do prefer, that you have some very nice features already built in. I definitely do believe that this one's pretty cool. And also if you do wanna enable Zoe, then what you have to do is just tap up here, and then you can begin the process of doing Zoe, and it will just record a little snippet there. and then you can play around with it, add effects to it, and so on and so on. While it's a little bit more traditional here on the Optimus G. So you just take a picture, and after you have taken a picture, we can see here that if we want to zoom in, we see some more details here and some more clarity. So that could be nice to know. We also do have some other features in here, these basic things that we can do, brightness, focus, image, scene mode, HDR mode. That's of course also available in the HTC One, which should make pictures sometimes provide more of an interesting feeling. So which camera is the best? Well, I would personally go with Optimus G because I can't stand just 4 megapixel pictures. I want to be able to zoom in a lot, have a lot of clarity over there. If we talk about the chipset here, we get a very identical here. I think we get a little bit more of a newer one, fresh edition here on the HTC One, the Snapdragon 600 versus a Qualcomm ABQ 8064 chipset inside of the Optimus G, and I think that's an older variant of the new Snapdragon 600. And they both have a quad-core processor, so as you can see here in terms of performance here with LG's custom UI version 3 versus HTC's Sense 5, they both are smooth, so you won't have any problems whatsoever on any of these devices. But a little bit higher clocked here on the HTC One, 1.7 GHz versus quad 1.5 GHz here on the Optimus G. They both share the same GPU, so you will probably see come on a kind of similar gaming performance as well, the Adreno 320. And also in terms of battery, you get 200 milliamps more here on the HTC One, but you probably won't see a big difference in battery because you have a little bit better chipset probably, and also a little bit bigger screen resolution, and that will draw some battery on the HTC One. So you'll probably see kind of the same performance here in terms of battery life as well. So let's just fire up a game pretty quick. And if you have any specific questions about these two smartphones, please let me know about that. And of course the sound sounds better here on the HTC One because of its stereo speaker sound. But as you can see here, also on the Optimus G, you will get extremely good gaming performance here. You won't have any problems whatsoever on any of these two devices to play any games. I will do some more probably heat videos to see the heat that these devices do gain. First the aluminum back on the HTC One versus probably the glass back here on the Optimus G. I've already made a video on the S4's plastic back, and it gets a little bit warm, but I don't think it's so much that you can't use the device that I did see some reviewers putting out there on YouTube. So I was a little bit confused by that. And also, if we continue on here pretty quick, and if we just start to check out, let's see. The browser a little bit quick. And also something that this sucks with the Optimus G, you can see unable to brighten more due to temperature increase. Oh my god, the device isn't even hot. I didn't even play a game for a long time, but I wouldn't be able to change, and now I can. But it sucks. I can't. Unable to brighten more to temperature. That sucks. That sucks. If you could install stock ROM, I might. If you could install stock ROM on the Optimus G, then that would be amazing. Because that kind of thing sucks. Or I mean, not just the stock ROM, but something cool with Android. You can see here, let's see if I do have text reflow. You do have text reflow here on the HTC One, that if you zoom in on some text, you will get the device will try to reflow the text so you can read it. That could be pretty useful. I also think that you can disable it. But just because I can't have the brightness, the phone is forcing me to not increase the brightness. I would definitely say that the winner here is the HTC One. So if we now also continue a little bit quick here and check out some quick Kindle here. I mean, you're not going to see any difference when you're reading. I mean, sure, you get 1080p versus 720p. If you don't read extremely small text, you won't see a difference. It's amazing on both platforms. So let's try to go super small. So what can I really say? You won't be you won't be sad that you went with 720p over 1080p. Now, I also want to take a look at some gaming or some benchmark scores. So you can see my earlier score over here. They were actually really close in score, so you shouldn't really worry too much about that you won't have amazing performance, that you will have bad performance here on the Optimus G. I'm not sure in the firmware section if there's a lot of, if they're trying to make the stock version of Nexus to the Optimus G, because that would be totally amazing. And then let's also try out a heavy gaming program, or a heavy 3D benchmarking tool called 3D Mark. And this one will also be going on for a few minutes. And also on the HTC One, just because you don't have menu keys, sometimes you'll see this ugly menu key here in apps. So we're gonna score here. Let's see. So we can see, sure, we get a higher score here, but remember, you can save around £200 probably on picking up the Optimus G. And the Optimus G is a good device, probably if you install a different firmware that looks a little bit prettier than LG's custom UI. It just feels like a bad ripoff of Samsung's TouchWiz. But where would you want to pick up the Optimus G? Well, it has a very, very nice design. Button layout is so much better. And it doesn't have any buttons at the top side, which of course is very, very nice. And I would also, if I just want to have a normal camera, I would just go with the Optimus G because it doesn't have a weird ultra pixel camera that just brings you 4 pixels. And then why would you want to pick up the HTC One? Well, if you like aluminum more than glass, then that's a good start. And also sense is better, the battery is a little bit better, and the CPU probably also is a little bit better. And yeah, but you can tell me your opinions down below, what you think, and hopefully I will see you all in the next video. Hopefully I will. Have a good day.